Okay. Okay, so today we are not walking any of the dirt trails because it had rained quite a bit. And I'll show you some of the mud here in this drainage. And that would be similar to what the trails are going to be like. So, instead we are walking downtown. And there's some cool places for me to show you. So who's with me today? I really don't know any historical facts about downtown, but there is some things that I want to show you. I'll show you this creek here. It actually flows out into the Brazos. So let's go on ahead and continue. Now this is going to be a little bit of a walk, so it's going to be fun. I should be able to get a whole lot of steps in, not to mention I am on the Work Week Hustle Challenge on Fitbit. I'm on 4 of them. So I really want to get my steps up there on the chart. Even if I don't become in first place, I would like to be up pretty high on it. Hello, Grandpa. Glad you're walking with me today. This is a walk that'll be just a little easier for you and Luna. I would prefer to walk on the trails, but it has rained a lot and more than likely the trails would be too slick. So we'll just do this. Here's a greater view of the Brazos River. Such a beautiful river, really is. Today is a really cool day. It's like in the upper 70s. It's comfortable and the breeze is nice. We may get some more rain today, but I'm hoping that it holds off until I'm back home. I was really looking to be able to get another good resistant workout. But the good thing about walking this is there are some ramps and steps for me to walk, so it's not going to quite be like the trails, but I'll still get a little bit of an extra workout. In this walk, I'm going to show you the only building that survived the tornado here in Waco in the 50s. And I'm also going to show you this Chisholm Trail Bridge, and I'm going to show you the university stadium. And then I'm going to show you an overlook on an old pier that used to be part of a railroad trestle. And they'd moved the railroad, but they left the pier up, and they put a platform on top of it. So we're going to be going up on that too. Wow, you're already getting the cooler temperatures, which is about that time for a lot of eastern states, especially up north. Can you believe it's already October, Grandpa? I mean, we just celebrated January. Just celebrated Christmas and got into January. There hadn't even like. Now the zoo is here too. It's over there. It's over across the way there. And there's bamboo all through there too. I'm still yet to go to the zoo and video that. Yes, it did. Went really quick. First few months of it, I was busy trying to recover my ankle. Sprung it real bad on New Year's Eve, day after my birthday. There had been an ice storm, or an ice rain anyway, and I ran out, checked the mail, and didn't know it. And my foot went right down the steps, my other one right behind me. I thought I broke my ankle, but it showed that I just sprained it real bad. And I was able to start walking on my foot again within the month, but it took another close to 2 months for it to completely recover and stop being swelled. It was during recovery time that I started doing videos on YouTube. And it shows that I joined in 16, but that's actually when I started watching videos. I wasn't doing them. I didn't start doing videos until February of this year. Boy, something's making a bunch of racket over there at the zoo. I wonder if that's a baboo over there. Baboon. I get bamboo and baboon mixed up. Anyway, it kind of sounds like a baboon over there, giving a hoot and a holler. Don't know if you're catching all those sounds over there or not. Maybe just the kids making a noise, but it's pretty loud. Really does sound like a monkey of some kind. I do have to walk a little ways to get down here to show these parts. I could have parked further down here, but the closer I park to it, the less steps I get, so I like getting as much in as possible. I'm working really hard on getting my stamina built up. Yeah, it kind of sounds like a kid or a baboon. It finally stopped. I don't know what all that racket was. It was definitely over in the zoo, though. Now it's going on again. It has to be a monkey. Show you some of the storm clouds up there. It's trying to build up. I'm just hoping that it rates until I'm back home. Even though I am prepared if it starts to rain, the rain will feel good. I've got a vinyl backpack that I can put this phone in, so here's some more baboo. I mean, it's all around here. Thank you. I have to wonder though sometimes, Grandpa, if something's going on with me that no amount of exercise and lesser food can do anything about. I've really been working very hard on this and eating less and stuff. I know if something doesn't change, because I've already been at this, kicking it for a month and a half, and there's really no change. I'm able to walk further distances, but that's about the best I've done so far. Might take it up with my doctor and have a little bit more of an exam. And I take my thyroid meds normal, and I take my iron like I'm supposed to. And I reckon, though, it's got a lot to do with age, though. I'm going to be 47, and when a person gets into their 40s, it gets a little harder to lose weight. I just buckled down a little harder on myself, I guess. or a monkey's uncle, okay? I don't know what this gateway represents. It's got an R on it, and I don't know what that represents. I love all the bridges that's provided here. Now, I've ridden a bike along this, and it is so awesome riding a bike over a bridge. I don't know what it is about my fascination about bridges. And if they're suspension bridges or whatever, even better. I like tunnels too, but I've kind of got a phobia that they might collapse on me. Yep. Well, one thing for sure. You know, last night, I like to go to bed and have a small conversation with God. Kind of helps me get to sleep. And last night, I was telling him, because, like, I ate a little more yesterday, but I still waited till I was hungry. But it caused me to show a 4-pound gain. And what I ate should have been no more than about a 2-pound gain. And I know it's not my real weight, but nonetheless. And I was talking to him last night, and I said, Lord, it's things like this that makes me just want to give up. And then this morning, as I was digging out my workout clothes, I thought, man, you might as well just give it up. And then I thought, no, I'm not. I'm determined. But the really sad thing is, I've been doing this for 27 years. I have been working on getting back down to my normal weight for 27 years. My daughter was 3 months old when the weight started coming on. And sometimes I'm just so tired and weary of trying. And it seems like it'll be forever. But I know that I achieved my goal, get down to my normal weight, then I would be able to maintain that. But I've got to get down to it first. And that's what makes it almost seem impossible. But I'm sure that I can do it as long as I just keep at it. And for me, it is going to have to be a lifetime. I'm going to have to practically walk every day. And of course, watch how much I eat in a day, which is fine. I don't want to glutton no more anyway. That was something I'd done way back when. And I'm done with that. Just really be nice that my body would cooperate. But it does seem like the older I get, the harder it gets. And I wonder just what adjustments I need to make. It was something else I was talking to him about last night. What do I have to do to make it better for my body to do? If I should just go to eating one meal a day or what? Because I've got a slow metabolism anyway. Even though my thyroid is in the normal range with the thyroid meds, my metabolism is still slow. And the sad thing is it gets slower with age. So it doesn't need a lot of food to metabolize anyway. So I'm just wondering. I do. With all this walking, I mean, it's something I've loved to do. I was a little girl when we lived in Ohio. I was born in Ohio. And where we lived, you could walk to a lot of places. So I was walking at an extremely young age. I lived so close to my school, I even walked to school. And so walking is like my favorite pastime. That's the one thing that I love about Waco, especially where we because even if I don't have the car, I can walk around my neighborhood. But if I've got the car, then I can just drive a little deeper into Waco and I can choose any park I want and walk. And I love walking. I love it. It ain't nothing like walking. If I had my way about it, I would walk 10, 12, 15 miles a day. If I really had my way about it. Because I love walking like that. But my body isn't up to par to walk that far yet. Now here at this park, I could very easily walk that many miles and more. I know in a lot of ways I'd rather walk over doing an indoor floor exercise anytime. But walking doesn't exercise the arms and shoulders. So that's where my indoor walking comes in, my indoor workout. I'm working my arms and shoulders. And then the walking is working my race down. I know eventually, if I just keep at this, eventually there's got to be a dramatic transformation. I keep pushing the way I'm doing with my indoor workouts and my walking and me eating at better times with less portions. There's got to be a dramatic transformation. I'm just waiting for it. I'll show you these pretty flowers down here. That is beautiful. And the bees are busy getting their pollination. A whole lot of critters is working hard, prepare for winter. Okay, I'm going to show you. We're almost in a good position where I could show you this. You know, in the 50s, a tornado raged all through here, all in downtown Waco, and it literally destroyed the entire town. No building was left standing whole, except for one. I gotta get into a good position to show it to you. The Indians, if I remember the story, the Indians didn't believe there'd ever be a tornado through here because of how the town is situated. And sure enough, a tornado did in the 50s and devastated the place. I might have passed up a good opportunity. I should be able to capture it better down here. The trail that I'd walked, some spots is just enough size that you can actually take a bit of a dip. I don't know if there's actually a public pool or anything. There probably is, maybe a couple of them. There is the Y, and I know, of course, the Y's always have a pool. And then, of course, our apartment's got a pool. So yeah, there's places that we can swim. Okay, we're almost in a good place here. And I could show you the building that withstood the tornado. Mitchell, Fifi. Well, that's long enough, buddy. 15 minutes is good enough. You'll get to see a lot of the big points. Well, that's fine, buddy. You'll get to see a little bit of where I live. Okay. I'm going to show you the one building that survived the tornado back in the 50s. That tall tower up there, it reads Waco. That is the only building that stood strong in that tornado. That building right there, that shorter building that's over there, none of that. That's a hotel right there. None of this be rebuilt. But the Waco up there is the only thing that withstood that tornado. I hope it reconnects. Come on here. You're going okay. Yeah, I'm doing fine, Mitchell. I'm glad that you're doing great too. Yeah, the autocorrect is mean. That's the only way to put it. It's mean. We've got all kinds of memorials here, which these two are new. They just put these up. They're from the Afghanistan war and the Iraq. Wow. Yeah, these are new. They didn't have these up. That's another thing about this place. There are all kinds of memorials to recognize the veterans. No matter what war it was, they recognize the veterans. They've been having to do some road work. The roads are beat up some, needing repaved pretty bad. Yep. Back in 1990, the Afghanistan war began. I'm not quite sure. They deemed the war Desert Storm in 1990 when Clinton was president. And so I'm not quite sure about exactly. I think it's kind of been on and off since. Somebody else would have to answer that question because I'm not proof positive. But I do know that it was deemed Desert Storm, Project Desert Storm, back in 90. Now it shows that I'm trying to reconnect. Can you guys still hear me okay? Are you buffering, or are you getting to see this and you can hear me? Learned about Iraq War. Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. It shows I've got 4 watching. No, my screen is showing it's trying to reconnect and it's buffering. But as long as you all can still see this and hear me, we're fine. It's just the connection down here. I run on LTE, which means I also rely on the signals that's through the air. And if the signals are blocked, it makes it a little hard. Look at all the black clouds up there. We are about ready to start walking the Chisholm Trail. And it was the trail that was used to do the cattle crossings and everything. They used to work with longhorn steer. And so the Chisholm Trail was part of that, where they would move the cattle. So we're about to walk onto that. Here's another good look at the Alico. You can see the name there. The only building that survived the tornado. Well, hopefully it will rate. I hope. Let's see. No, I sure didn't. I forgot all about it, Grandpa. I gotta remember to. Okay. All right. Well, that definitely explores the Iraq. Okay. Here, they've got a whole bunch of the steer. So I'll show you the statues before we walk the bridge. Now, so far it's not raining, guys, so I'm good. Look at these. And here's up close and personal. It seems like I've got the zoom on. I must be that close. Okay. Thank you for joining when you could, Mitchell. I'll see you later, buddy. So, here's all these. And I think it's neat how they've got these, the cattle. So it gives you an idea of what they've done. Because this was the trail. This was where they herded the steer all along this way. And when they created the bridge, it was a tow bridge. And here, we've got a cowboy helping to herd up the cattle. Another cowboy. We've got even more steer back here. They've got a line of steer back here. I could never get enough of these. When I first came down here to walk the bridge, I saw these steer and I couldn't get enough of them. I love looking at it. And the really crazy thing is, like, they made the cowboys bigger than life, but you know that the steer is about this big. So why did they make the horses and the cowboys so much bigger? Which they've got them rearing up on the horses. The horses are rearing up, so maybe that's what makes them look so much bigger. I don't know. Yeah, just imagine, though, how much delicious hamburger and steak we'd get out of these. Now, here's the plaque. It does look like my Zoom. Yeah, my Zoom was. Okay, so it was built in 1866, and it was granted a 25-year charter. There was some difficulty. It was financial difficulty, but it was finished in 70. And this was all in the 1800s. And let's see. The bridge traffic included wagons, pedestrians, and cattle herds. Special rates were given to heavy users. From 1875 to 89, the public agitated for a free bridge, but the company retained its monopoly. Then in 1889, the bridge was sold to McLennan County, which gave it to the city of Waco as a free bridge. So it's a good thing that it was sold off. But look at this, these towers. And this is where they collected the toll. The bridge itself this is just so, I love history, especially when I can see it physically. But to think that that wagons crossed this bridge and herds of cattle and I guess like pedestrians would walk along this walk right here so that the wagons and the cattle could cross through here. Now, I'm going to show you this. Looks like people has been succeeding. This is crazy right here. Those are tortilla breads. The tradition is to toss it onto that pier. I don't know what the meaning of that is, but it's a tradition and people does it. And then of course the birds come along and they get themselves a treat. Okay, I'm going to be taking you down to see the university stadium. And it's also at this university that my father-in-law works. He's a professor in scientific math. He's in statistics, as he likes to call it, because he's a very specific man. He doesn't want it called anything else but mathematical statistics. So that's what he is. He's a professor. He's one of those kind of people that knows everything but doesn't know the more common things. But he's very smart, very, very intelligent. He is. When he done an aptitude test, they saw that he could have been an engineer. So he's really got the mind for stuff like that. My husband's intelligent just like his dad. Now, unfortunately, my husband has also settled with a restaurant job. But I tell you what, somebody's got to do those restaurants. And he does a good job at what he's doing. He's diligent. And he's earning an income to help take care of me and him and our cat. But he has got the mind like his dad. He is so smart. So's his brother. What I understand, though, is that while the boys were growing up, their dad was constantly teaching them, training them, working with them, and wouldn't let off of them until they got it. I actually should have gone down the stairs instead of this darn ramp. I was thinking of the direction I wanted to go, but I could have gone this way as well if I'd gone down the steps instead of this ramp. But the good news is I'm still having to work my muscles. But man, I missed the opportunity for some steps. Man. Now keep my mind what I gotta be doing. And make this walk count. We are, every one of us, in some way or another. Me, believe it or not, what I don't know technically, I figure it out. So, guess who takes care of the electrical tech in the house? Not hubby, me. Who knows things about a car? Not hubby, me. But with my first husband, every car we got hold of, something would always go wrong on it. So through 23 years of over 100 cars, there was one time I had counted, we had already been over 200 cars, and we'd only been together for like 10 years when I counted that up. So who knows how many cars we had overall. But just about anything that could go wrong with the car did. And I learned what sound it would make, or how it would act up, or whatever. I had even changed an oil pan, not an oil pan, a valve pan gasket on one of the cars we had. Unfortunately, there was so many screws and stuff in the way, so I messed up the silicone and it ended up leaking. But nonetheless, I did it. I changed it, and if it hadn't been for those bolts that stick up, I would have fixed it so it didn't leak. Even got everything plugged back up right, and it ran as if it hadn't been took apart. So I know things about that. Unfortunately, that was a carburetor, and I don't know very much about these newer electrical type cars. I know a lot about the undercarriage because that hasn't changed much, but motorized, not so much. That's changed a lot. But I know what sound the car makes if the battery's dead, or if it's got a loose connection. I mean, these are things I learned over the years. My first husband, he knew how to take care of stuff like that, and I worked alongside him, and so I learned from that. And so that has carried on over into my second marriage, because it's things my husband does not know. Now, I've not done anything to work on our car. Our car is a good car. but most of the time I could say it sounds like something's up, and we'll have it checked out. So I hook up the wires on the TV, and I tinker with the phones and anything else that I'm allowed to do that doesn't belong to the apartment. I'm the handyman, I guess you could say. I'm the handy wife. And then my husband, he prefers to cooking and somewhat doing housework. Somewhat. Kind of a reverse role play there between the two of us. I've got to watch where I walk through here, because like there's sand laid, but even sand when it's damp can become hard to walk by, hard to walk through. Yeah, this isn't quite the kind of workout that I prefer, but it's a different scenery, and I'll be getting my steps in, which will make it really look good on the work week hustle. And I've only been down this side one time, and that was on my bike. I haven't walked this. This is where the train trestle was moved to. It's over here now. Which, actually, that's the new one right there. So, this one's a little bit more rusted. I don't even know if this one's in use. It doesn't look like it could be, but it's possible. But they don't maintain it if it is. But that one, honestly, I don't know. That over there is that's Highway 36. I see a building Brian would probably want to try to get into. The windows are boarded up and there's graffiti on it and there's a fence around it. If he manages to move down here, I can imagine him wanting to get at that. They're getting a good place here, and I'll show you this. Hello, Melanie. Yeah, somebody else had once told me that. Yeah, I figured you were. But let me show you this. That is the university, and that's where my father-in-law works. My father-in-law is a professor, statistical math. He's a brainiac, literally. As far as it goes for the GoPro, I'm self-conscious about how I look anyway. I don't know if I could handle having something like that on my head. Maybe I could mount it on a stabilizer or use my tripod or something, but I couldn't see putting it on my head. I would feel like a dork. Boy, that breeze feels so good. It just feels so good. Okay, well, that's fair. I'd heard about the tropical storm that was getting ready to hit, but I hadn't heard anything about its strengths or anything. I haven't seen anything about it. I've just barely heard it mentioned. Those tropical storms are just as hateful as hurricanes. We're coming close to going underneath Highway 36. That's the reason for all the noise. Might be Highway 38. I know it's 30 something. It's 36 or 38. That right there's a restaurant I wouldn't mind trying sometime. I'm gonna have to tell my husband about that. He loves trying the new restaurants around here. What's new to us? I know it's pretty noisy under here. Wow. Wow. That's going to be pretty strong. I hope it doesn't get any stronger than a 2 though. So yeah, it's pretty noisy under here. But I wanted to walk down here to the stadium and show it off to you. This is the McLean Stadium, which is part of the university, which is Baylor University. and you drive right by it on the freeway. And it's brand new. It hasn't been up very long. When me and my husband was first deciding to move down here, his dad gave us a drive-by, and he had said that they had just built it a couple years ago. Around that time, it was a couple years prior. So this stadium is only maybe about possibly 5-6 years old. They had to build a new one, a bigger one. That's what my father-in-law said. Anyway, I'm walking on down. I don't know where this goes. I've never been beyond this point, so I have no idea. So this will be quite interesting. It possibly just goes on out to the parking lot. We'll find out. That's incredible. I mean, it might not be the strongest, but that's pretty rough. 60 and 90, that's pretty strong. Man, that wind feels so good. So good. Anyway, this is first I've ever been along this way. I've never walked on out here, ever. So if this goes long enough, I might not have to make a complete circle and just go back the way I came. I'm going to show you this. This is cute. The grading over top of the drain pipe. BU for Baylor University. That's cute. She might be driving now, Grandpa. Okay, it looks like it goes around in a block there. I'll follow it around here and see where this goes. Like I said, I've not been down this far. So we'll just see how much further this goes. Oh, we got a foot race going on up here. Don't believe I can even capture that. I believe I swallowed a bug. Sorry about the spit. I know it's not very ladylike. Interesting. There's some slate. They've got it plated under here. I've got to clean my glasses off. There's a bug on my glasses. Forgive the view. I think I'd rather you look at the rock than to look up at the bridge. But we've never gone anywhere that's on this side of the bridge. Interesting. I'm seeing another part of Waco I have no clue of anything about. I have never seen this area before. And I know all this has to do with the campus as well. Oh, wow. There's a fountain over there. It is so hard to get this to zoom because it brings the text back up. This is bear country. Yeah, the mascot for the university is a grizzly. So this is bear country. This is gorgeous here. Okay, this actually, it just comes out to the parking lot and the tour boats. It's a pier. So this is where people can do their pontoons and stuff. A good view of the water here. It's a pretty good walk though, I tell you that. Cameron Park is large. It is so large. Aside from this being a part of the university, it's also part of the park. So Cameron Park was just humongous. So now I can say I've walked a little further on it. It's possible Melanie had to leave us, Grandpa. She's probably off a break and driving and everything now. I know in her vlog this morning she was talking about what her job is and that they are having to prepare for this storm. So she works for the electric company. She checks out people's homes. If their bills are too high, then she checks out to see if the meters are working right, and if not, then the infrastructure of the home or the business, and to make sure that it's energy sufficient and stuff. So she's an energy consultant. She just takes care of the places, makes sure that they stay energy sufficient. That's a pretty cool job. Now I have got a choice to make. Either go back the way I came, or make the long round trip. I have no clue how many steps I will have if I retrace my steps, but if I do the round trip, then I've got a greater chance of having a lot of steps on me. What would you do in this case, Grandpa? You're trying to make sure to have a good start on the workday hustle. Would you go back the way you came, or go round trip? It appears the skies are trying to clear up. It's still cloudy over top where I parked, but the skies are clearing behind me. My poor phone says it's still trying to reconnect. Poor thing. way I came. Well, there's a certain point I'm going to walk to, and I'll decide from there. I have had a good walk. It's amazing, though, how many little steps there are. You think that you've walked a lot, and then you look, you hardly walked at all. I don't even know how many miles it is out through here. At least a good 3 just walking this one way. Well, you know what, Grandpa, you're right. I'll go back the way I came, but to make sure I've got those few extra steps that I'm looking for, I'm going to show you the other side of the river walk. And then I'll be able to go back the way I came. But that will be my extra surety. If I go the round trip, I know I'd really have some steps. I'm just not sure how many. After I show you the other side of the river walk, I'm going to go on ahead and close out the stream. And I'm sure my phone is getting on low battery. It hasn't given me warning yet, though. I'm also going to show you part of the overlook. You get a great panorama view. Interesting. That old train trestle, people's walking their bike across. So apparently that is no longer in use. Wonder how you get onto that. This is interesting. I never noticed. Not quite sure what to make of that. Maybe that was an old road that came down here to fish. It's interesting. Yeah, there's all kinds of things over on this side that I don't know anything about. I'm going to have to really do some exploring. Now we're back underneath cloud cover again. It's one of those days. A squirrel just went into the reeds. Don't know how much of that was caught. You know what? I didn't even realize how far down that went. It's quite a walk. Well, I'm sorry, Grandpa. I was wanting to show you the other parts, but I'm going to have to close the stream down. Where my phone keeps trying to reconnect, I know that's draining the battery on it. So I'm going to go on ahead and say bye. Thank you so much for joining me on this walk, Grandpa. And tomorrow morning, I won't be doing an early morning walk. I've got to drop my cat off at the vet. But I may be doing a little later. So we'll see. So have a great day, Grandpa. I love you. I'll talk with you later.